When we talk about retiree regrets, your mind probably jumps to the obvious stuff, right? A boat, maybe a flashy sports car. And yeah, don't worry, those are definitely on the list. But the real danger, the thing that truly drains a retirement nest egg, well, it's a deep psychological trap that most of us are completely unprepared to face.
Okay, if you remember one thing from this whole explainer, make it this sentence. Because the moment you retire, trust me, every salesperson on the planet sees you as fresh meat walking right through their door. And this is the heart of the trap. Think about it. You've spent your entire adult life, 40 years, maybe more, building a muscle for saying no, or at least not yet. You save, you delay gratification, you're responsible. And then, boom, overnight, the rules flip. Your brain suddenly gets this green light to say yes, but it has absolutely zero practice, no calibration for what a yes on the scale should even feel like. So this vulnerability leads us straight into what we're calling the retirement showroom trap. And it's an environment that has been perfectly, almost surgically engineered to take advantage of this brand new, unpracticed mindset. So what is the showroom? Well, it could be a real estate office, a marina, even a financial advisor's seminar. The key is, it's any place designed to make a purchase look incredible on day one. It's all about hiding the messy, expensive, long-term reality that comes after you sign on the dotted line.
All right, let's see how this actually plays out in the real world. We'll start with the most common, the most visible dream purchases that so often turn into total financial nightmares.
First up, the classic vacation home. Oh, the dream is powerful, isn't it? A place for the whole family, the grandkids. But the reality? It's a constant leak in your financial bucket. We're talking up to $25,000 a year in just taxes, insurance, and upkeep. And here's the real kicker. After the excitement of that first year wears off, most owners barely even go there. And of course, the boat. It's the ultimate symbol of freedom, right? But that freedom is going to cost you about 10% of the boat's price every single year, just to keep it running. And for what? The average owner uses it, get this, 11 days a year. The other 354 days, it's just a very, very expensive piece of fiberglass sitting in the water. The RV sells you that exact same dream of freedom, just on wheels. But the numbers, oh man, they are brutal. You can lose nearly half its value in just 4 years to depreciation. And that's before we even talk about the insane price of fuel or the very real possibility of spending your freedom parked for 2 months in some random town waiting for a part. Yeah, they don't exactly put that on the glossy brochure. Now, look, as bad as all that is, those things aren't even the biggest threat to your savings. Let's shift gears and talk about where the really big money, the serious money, actually disappears. This is where the real danger lies. You see, you can always sell a boat, even if it's at a big loss. But the money that gets eaten up by complex, high-fee financial products, it's just gone, vanished. And these things are sold specifically to retirees, right at their moment of maximum vulnerability, usually wrapped in a 200-page document full of jargon nobody understands. Just look at this chart. It explains the whole problem perfectly. On the left, you've got a variable annuity, a product that gets pushed on retirees constantly, with average annual fees of 2.5%. And on the right, a simple, low-cost ETF at just a tiny fraction of that. At first glance, that difference doesn't seem like that big of a deal, does it? But when you stretch that small difference out over 20 years, on a $300,000 investment, it adds up to this, $170,000. Poof, gone. Not because the market crashed, but because it was silently siphoned away by fees that were never clearly explained in the first place. And it doesn't stop there. Whole life insurance is pitched as a great investment, but the returns are often terrible after fees. And collectibles, like rare coins, they're sold as this safe place to park your money. But let's be honest, unless you're a world-class expert, you're just the person the dealers are making their profits from. To make this all feel a bit more real, let's look at a case study. We're going to call him Gerald. Now, Gerald's not a real person, but his story is a composite, compiled from countless real-life financial disasters. It's a story that, unfortunately, happens thousands and thousands of times a year. So, meet Gerald. This guy did everything right. He retired at 64, had nearly $1 million saved up. His house was paid off, Social Security was on the way. I mean, by every possible metric, he was completely set for life. But then he started walking through a few of those showrooms.
He put some money into that high-fee annuity we talked about and lost out on $92,000 in potential growth. He bought the collectible coins and lost $21,000. He tried a safe little franchise investment and lost 50 grand. His smart move to Florida ended up having $62,000 in hidden costs. A loan to family never came back. Even a prepaid funeral plan went sideways. The crazy thing is, every single one of these decisions seemed totally reasonable at the time. And the grand total? The total damage from just these 6 reasonable showroom purchases, $273,000. That's nearly a third of his entire nest egg. And it didn't evaporate in a stock market crash. It just bled out through a series of bad deals he was sold.
Now, Gerald's story is a huge warning, but it is not hopeless. So now let's talk about the solution. Let's talk about a simple but really powerful framework you can use to protect yourself from the showroom. Here it is, your 3-question shield. First, what is the total annual cost? And that includes what that money could have been earning somewhere else. Second, what is my realistic usage? Whatever you're dreaming of, just cut that projection in half. And third, and this one is absolutely critical for financial products, who profits if I say yes, and how much do they profit? Always get a second opinion from someone who doesn't make a commission on your decision. And this all brings us to the final and I think the most important idea in all of this. The showroom doesn't sell you a boat or a house. It sells you a symbol.
Think about it. What you're really buying is the idea of freedom, or the idea of family togetherness. But the thing you truly want, that feeling, that experience, you can almost always get it for a fraction of the cost. You can rent freedom by the day. You can rent a giant family hub for a week. You don't have to own the crushing financial burden that comes with the symbol. So here it is, the one question to carry with you from now on. Before you sign any papers in that gleaming showroom, just stop, take a breath, and ask yourself this. Am I buying the actual thing I want? Or am I about to pay a massive premium for the symbol of that thing? Honestly, the answer to that one question could save your entire retirement.